Hi, my name is Dr. Groovy Duquesne, and I have a very important subject to talk to you about on my Daily Scoop. The subject is illegal drug use. In 2002 and 2003, a survey went around Pennsylvania collecting information on that state's illegal drug use. Out of 774,000 legal drug users in Pennsylvania, 116,000 of them were between the ages of 12 and 17. And think about it, with the society today, the numbers have probably just gone up. So I have a little clip for you today about drugs from my friend. Roll the clip, Steven. Drugs! Cool, right?
Okay, go.
Ew, no. Drugs, they're nasty. Like, some smell really bad, and some make you crazy. Like, literally, there's drugs that make you hallucinate, like, make it seem like tigers are coming after you or something. They're not cool. Now, I know that some of you are probably thinking, not another video about cigarettes. Trust me, kid, there's gonna be plenty more of those. But not from me. Yet. But seriously, just like Groovy said, I'm here to talk to you today about illegal drugs. You'll probably learn a thing or two. I know I did. By the way, my name's Laura. Okay, so the first drug I'm going to talk to you about is cocaine. Cocaine is an illegal stimulant that comes from South American cocoa plant leaves. It makes up 2% of the leaves. But don't worry though, because it gets extracted when you're making chocolate products, so all that chocolate yumminess isn't illegal. Don't worry. It looks like a white crystalline powder, and it can be sniffed, snorted, injected, or smoked. Because of this, it's easily overdosed, and the needles that they use for injecting can be unsanitary and filled with diseases. Do you want AIDS? I don't think so. Now, it has many side effects like anger, hostility, anxiousness, loss of appetite, violent behavior, schizophrenic actions and feelings, and irregular heartbeat and pulse. Now, some street names for this drug are coke, dust, snow, nose candy. Nose candy? What? That doesn't even make sense. And crack. Now, some of you are probably like, crack? I thought that was a completely different drug. Well, no, it isn't. Crack is just a smokable version of cocaine. It's named after the crackling sound it makes when it burns. And it kind of looks like little pinkish or whitish rocks. Now, Groovy mentioned a survey earlier about how in 2002 and 2003 a survey went around Pennsylvania about illegal drug users. Now, there's one just like that from the same people that was about cocaine users in Pennsylvania over 1 year. And over 1 year, 244,000 users did cocaine in Pennsylvania. And out of that, 15,000 were between the ages of 12 and 17. That's looking pretty bad. Now, the next drug I'm going to talk to you about is heroin. Heroin's been around for a very long time. Well, not exactly heroin, but its parent drug morphine, and especially its grandparent drug opium. Opium's been around for such a long time that the ancient Greek poet Homer mentioned it in his poem Iliad. The way they get opium is from extracting it from mature poppy seed pods. Now, from the 1800s and before then, it was often advertised as a cough medicine because it was a painkiller. But in 1803, a German scientist created morphine. He created morphine from isolating the main active ingredient in opium. Both drugs led to negative effects and addiction. So, by the 1800s, they were already working on a new drug called diacetylmorphine, also known as heroin. Heroin was way more powerful than morphine, and it wasn't suited to be a painkiller. So they stopped the experiments with it. But it led to huge addiction problems even after, so it was made illegal in 1924. Now, heroin has been known as very popular in the rock music scene and with celebrities. Both singer Janis Joplin and actor River Phoenix died from heroin overdose. Kurt Cobain committed suicide, but the studies have shown that if he hadn't, then he would have died soon after from heroin overdose anyway. So as you can see, It's very easily overdosed, and the needles that they use to inject it with are loaded with diseases. It's disgusting. But another problem that addicts have with it is it's hard to recover from because it has terrible flu-like withdrawal symptoms like nausea and headaches and all that other nasty stuff. It also can lead to psychological addiction and antisocial behavior. Red Hot Chili Peppers lead singer Anthony Kiedis puts his input on the drug here. Quote, "Without you realizing what's happening, heroin sucks the life out of you. It's very deceiving because it'll numb a pain, but it'll numb your love as well." Unquote. LSD. What do you think of when you hear it? No, not long sustained distance. Psh, runners. I am one of them. But LSD stands for lysergic acid diethylamide. Now, some of you may start to think, oh, isn't that drug that all the hippies used back in the day? Well, now you're on the right track because it was very popular in that time period, and it was outlawed in 1966. LSD is a hallucination drug. It heightens your sensory perception and causes hallucinations and illusions. It's also a very intimidating drug because it causes unpredictable effects called trips. Now, there's good trips and bad trips. A good trip might be seeing daisies in the sky while you're walking through a field on a bright sunny day. But a bad trip might be tiger humans chasing after you into a cave. But another bad thing about LSD is that even if you're all clean, and you're not doing drugs, a couple months later, you might have a flashback of one of these moments. So you could just be sitting there watching TV or whatever, and you'll suddenly think that lions are chasing you again. Who knows? You could have a flashback anytime. Now, unlike drugs like marijuana and tobacco, it most likely doesn't cause any permanent body damage, like to the lungs or to your brain, at least permanently. Now, when you think of your average drug addict, do you think of a poor, rowdy lowlife that's just all rugged and doesn't really do anything with their lives? But LSD was actually very common in the high and middle classes. Who would have thought? Now, LSD is synthetic and it's only made in labs. But did you know that morning glory seeds contain lysergic acid? I didn't know either. Now, LSD is extremely potent. It's measured in micrograms. Micrograms? What's that? Well, it's 1/1,000,000th of a gram, which is really tiny, saying that a gram is already small itself. Now, the ways people take LSD are through a water-soluble powder, a liquid, extremely small tablets called microdots, makes sense, blotter sheets, or window panes or gel tabs. These are little sugar cubes or gelatin cubes that have LSD absorbed into them. It's rarely inhaled or injected. Now, some side effects of this drug include intensified perception, synesthesia, dilated pupils, increased heart rate and blood pressure, nausea, increased saliva, ew, tremors, muscle weakness, dry mouth, sweat, tingling, numbness, and loss of appetite. Doesn't sound like much fun to me. Now, it has a short-term tolerance, but it's not physically addictive, even though it can cause a psychological addiction in your mind and it can be overdosed. But long-term use can lead to anxiety and depression. Is it really worth it? Ugh, cast iron, baby. Look at this. This is how you get muscles a natural way. Look at that. Look at that. Rock solid. Well, so the next drug I'm going to talk to you about is steroids. Now, did you see me lifting weights over there? That's how you get all of this the natural way. Now, you've probably heard throughout the news that some new baseball player has been caught with steroids or something. Now, most of you probably know what steroids are, but in case you don't, they're drugs that come from a hormone-like substance, like testosterone. Now, some are used for medical purposes. So if a doctor prescribes you one, it's okay, you can take it. It's okay, it's not illegal. But in all other cases, they're illegal. They're taken for muscle growth and performance in sports. Now, the anabolic steroids are associated with sports like track and field, football, baseball, bodybuilding, and weightlifting. Now, some side effects include mood swings, depression, rage, stunted growth, male baldness, female deep voice and facial hair, and heart and liver damage. It can lead to strained liver and liver tumors and cysts, and possible damage to the kidneys, body, and the body systems can be affected. Now, it can be taken by pills, needles, nasal sprays, skin cream, and patches. For many reasons, being that it can make your muscles huge, which is an unfair advantage, it's been banned in the United States and International Olympic Committees, American College of Sports Medicine, the National Football League, the U.S. Powerlifting Federation, National Collegiate Athletic Association, and the International Federation of Bodybuilders. Now, there's been many deaths caused by steroids, but here's just a couple that happened from the WWE. Brian Pillman in 1997, he was 35 and he died from a heart attack, and he had known steroid abuse. The second is David Smith. He died in 2002. He was 39 and he also died from a heart attack, and the autopsy shown that possible steroid use was the blame. And my last example is Curt Hennig in 2003. He was 44 and had acute cocaine intoxication, but his dad said that steroids were to blame. Now, performance-enhancing drugs, there's more to them than steroids. Another one is creatine. Its associated sports are weightlifting, wrestling, and sprinting. Its side effects are nausea, muscle cramps, stomach pain, diarrhea, possible kidney, liver, or heart problems. Another one is the human growth hormone, HGH. Its associated sports are swimming, baseball, and track. Its side effects include heart problems, diabetes, and excessive growth of the head, feet, and hands. Okay, now, athletic stimulants are another, performance-enhancing drug. Its associated sports are cycling, track, and hockey. Its side effects are headaches, nervousness, anxiety, irregular heartbeat, heart attacks, and strokes. That's not good. That's pretty bad. Now, some other sports that you might find that steroids can be used in are distance running or even cross-country skiing. Who would have thought? What? Stephen? We're rolling? Stephen. Hi, I'm Dr. Groovy Duquesne. That was such a wonderful clip that Laura played for us earlier. It was very educational. Now, there's another part of this that we didn't really talk about. What is there to do other than drugs? Well, there's plenty of things you can do. You can write a book. You can take a walk. You can play a sport. You can listen to music. You can go planking. You can go T-bowing. You can go pterodactyling. You can indulge in hipster-like activities. You can go jump roping. You can go on an energy bike. You could watch TV. You could go on the computer. You could watch My Daily Scoop. There's plenty of things to do other than drugs, so don't make it part of your life. Stand like close enough to me.